As a 2-year-old, he won the Golden Rose, he won the Caulfield Guineas, he won the Ranvet Guineas. The Rosehill Guineas awaits, and at the moment on the NOP, he's $1.35, he's $1.40 on the tote, $1.40 and $1.20. Tony Pike's in town. He's bringing
the sort of horse that, you know, operates like a big double-decker bus, but once he really cranks into top gear, he's like a Lamborghini. So we'll see what happens with this wet track. This is the first time he's encountered a track as daunting as this. It does seem to be taking them a heck of a long time to get up the home straight.
Can't get away from this favourite, the Autumn Sun. He's a star in the making. Heavy 8 today, you know, just little things that say, well, should he be that short? He should be that short on ability. Whether he should be that short in conditions, I'm not sure. But he is clear top pick. I do think he'll...
So Crown Prosecutor goes forward now, and we're all set for the Rosehill Guineas. For 2019, the Autumn Sun, a raging favourite. Arrogant buzzing up in the gates. They're off now. Starter says go. Able Stock immediately drop back to the rear of the field. Vernon Mead jump well together with going forward. Just behind them is Yulong Tavion in the white cap. Chapata there on the fence. Then Arrogant. The Autumn Sun's got a very prominent role. Crown Prosecutors whipping right around the outside of the field. Then came Aramea down on the fence from Purple Sector. Able Stock, Surely Sacred. Well back then is Dealmaker and Costello's the last one. So the back then is Dealmaker and Costello's the last one. So the New Zealand Derby winner, Crown Prosecutor's been able to lead them comfortably. Out by 2 lengths on Arrogant pulling his way to, and Costello last at least a dozen lengths off the lead. Crown Prosecutor ensuring the Guineas has run at a good gallop. Leads out by 2 lengths to Arrogant at the 1100 metres. Vernon Me in 3rd position, followed by Yulong Tavion. Then came the Autumn Sun on the outside at Chapata. Further back to Purple Sector, then Arameo from Able Stock, Surely Sacred, Costello and Dealmaker are the last 2. Racing towards the 800 metres now, and Crown Prosecutor holding this healthy lead by 2.5 on Arrogant. Then came Vernon Me, Yulong Tavion. The Autumn Sun gets going now, so does Purple Sector going around them. Further back to Arameo, Chapata getting shuffled back from Surely Sacred, and Able Stock coming to the turn. Crown Prosecutor leads about a half length now on Arrogant. The Autumn Sun goes to 3rd and honing in on the leaders. Clear from Purple Sector and Surely Sacred to the outside running on. The Autumn Sun's made the early move. The champ takes the lead inside the 300 from Arrogant. Surely Sacred's running on well. It's the Autumn Sun and neck in front to Arrogant. Who's in for the fight? The Autumn Sun and neck up on Arrogant. Chapata going to 3rd. The Autumn Sun, he really has to dig deep. The Autumn Sun, he wins the Guineas. He's 3rd Guineas. He just beat Arrogant in a stirring finish. Chapata 3rd. Surely Sacred peaked on the run. Then came Arameo from Dealmaker. Yulong Tavion, Costello from Crown Prosecutor. Vernon Me, Purple Sector and Able Stock.
What a contest we just got. What a contest. It wasn't going to be easy for him today, this hot pot. He had to go to 2,000 metres and he did it on a heavy track. He didn't race away, but he didn't want to be beaten. The Autumn Sun has won his 5th Group 1 in 9 start stuff.
Oh, you wouldn't have liked to be taking the tomato sauce at these 3 runs back from a spell. He makes it hard for himself, and he makes it hard for the punters with the heart in mouth there where he hits that flat spot on the point of the turn again. Then you thought, OK, no.
He's a good sportsman, and that's why the horse was here racing. There was concern earlier in the week whether he should be running on a heavy track because he's still a young, well, not a mature horse that's fully matured. So it was through his sportsmanship that they brought them here, and he's a very good horse. That was a good test, the last 200 metres, and the inside horse was laying all over him, but he just didn't lie down. He's a really tough horse.
He didn't want to be beaten, John. He didn't want to be beaten.
No, he knows how to win, but I don't think he enjoyed it.
But he got away with it.
He got away with it. Well, good horses can do that.
Now you guys have got to sit down and...
400 metres was going to be a really tough staying test, and that's the way the race worked out. And just look at the margins that they've come home, and it was pretty close to winner in 2nd, but behind that there were some really tired horses. horses. So, look, for a horse that's showing so much speed, he's almost broke. Well, he's run almost a track record at Ranvet his first run, over 1,200, and then he's come out, won the stallion-making races in Queensland, Sydney, the Golden Rose, over 1,400 from last. That's the speed he's got. So we're really testing him today over 2,000 metres, and look, he's only a champion comes out like he's done, and he's done it.
And you're going to have to monitor him very close. Could have been a highlight on its own because he's a wonderful colt, and we're going to talk more about his future after we see the Rosehill Guineas. It was tough, it was narrow, but he's won another Group 1, and that makes it 5 in 9 starts.
Yeah, and what another really tough performance. And you know, he's gone to the World 3. You know, you think he's had 3 runs, but there have been 3 very tough runs, Lizzie. Like, it's a pattern he's getting into. Well, although it was run at a lot faster speed than we read on paper yesterday. This horse, Arrogant, battled on well, and Chapada. Those 2 Mike Moroney horses, they're looking very, very sweet for the Derby. Especially, I would have thought Chapada with that sense of timing about him.
Yeah, he just sort of, with Chapada, he wasn't actually able to get into him until the last 100 metres. So the way he finished off was pretty impressive, and he's an impressive-looking individual. I actually had him on top just based on the fact that the Autumn Sun, you know, was going to. He looked great, but Chapada really is one of those horses that takes your eye, and as you said, he's got a sense of timing about him. But the Autumn Sun, what do we make of him? He's looked at the start of this preparation like he's looking like he wants the 2,000 metres. Does he want the 2,000 metres? That's the question mark, because he looked more brilliant over the mile, in my opinion. And
well, was it just a wet track? You know, yeah. Like you say, you've got to be forgiving. Like, it was testing conditions. He's 2,000 metres the first time. The race was run more brutally than what we first thought. He keeps winning. You know, winners are winners. He's a bit like the old Octagonal. You know, I'm not putting him in the same breath as Octagonal at this stage, but yeah, there's a lot of questions still to be answered with this horse, even if we're going to see him again.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, that is the biggest question, whether we're going to see him again.
Let's talk about
Scott, but I'll make for an interesting race. It'll be nice to come on.
OK, now back to the Autumn Sun, Duff and Lizzie. As far as Chris Waller's concerned, he thinks the horse should race on because he's not fully mature, and you're going to see the best of him in the next 12 months or 2 years. So he's adamant this horse. He's adamant this horse should go on, and I think he's going to try and talk Massara and the other owners into racing this horse on. John Massara is different altogether. What do you think he's thinking?
Well, it comes down to facts and figures. You get your calculator out, and you work out how much should I pay for this horse, how much am I going to get back in the first year, the second year, how much can I potentially make in this next year of racing,
and the risks.
And the risks involved. That's business. That's business. That's why John Massara puts his hand in his pocket and takes a huge risk, paying overs for a horse, because you're gambling that you could keep this horse on an upward spiral. And then if you commit to another year and something goes wrong after the first, you get beat first up, or something, he doesn't come up, or something like that,
well, there's
it can turn nasty.
Well, they're animals. But I could not agree more with Chris Waller. He will be a fantastic, furnished 4-year-old horse, but it's, as you said, the facts and figures. As someone who runs one of the biggest studs in Australia, he's going to be likely to retire him at the end of this preparation. Who knows? That could be the last time we see him. We don't know that.
The pros
are... break. Up next on Sky Thoroughbred Central, it's the Agency George Ryder Stakes featuring the mighty mare Winx. The arrival of the best horse in the world, and a lot of the track have been able to see. She's just on her way down into the yard now. In fact, he's out in the middle of the mounting yard right now, about to... We'll just wait for Winx to do half a lap before he jumps on. And as normally the case, he gets a cheer when he jumps on.
He certainly does, and you know, it's funny, sometimes these...
$26 bar here, so it's $1.06 Winx, 25 to 1 and better.
I think the important thing, Greg, was like what happened the other day, is how much is invested on her since she went on the track. Leading when she set foot on the track, on her when she went on the track. So this is when it really hots up, because the other thing is she's $1.04 on, well, the New South Wales tote, $1.04 on Super Tab, and because of legislation on UTAB, she's going to pay money back, right? So you're getting $1.04. That's the only thing you're going to get on the totes. You're getting $1.06. I know 2 cents isn't a great pinch, but the amazing thing, 1,000, 10,000, 1,692. These are just bets. Well, you know, it's hard to get without breaking the law, isn't it?
On track, $1.05. $1.04 on the tote.
Racing now on the George Ryder and Dreamforce, and Prompt Response got the best of the starter. Sosie Bonaway well, followed by Brutal, Telly Play, Landed Plenty. Winx is staying out pretty wide, and Ring-a-Ding-Ding is the last one. Dreamforce presses on after the first couple of 100 metres. It's looking to get to a clear lead at the 1,200 metres, but it's cast a little bit deep around Sosie Bon, and Brutal's booting through her. So Dreamforce leads by 3/4 to Brutal. Sosie Bon in a forward roll third, then Prompt Response from Telly Play. Landed Plenty, Winx up on the outside, and Ring-a-Ding-Ding's last of all. Dreamforce got to the front now clearly. Brutal came off the fence to sit outside it. Then came Sosie Bon. Prompt Response getting closer. Further back to Telly Play. Winx is covering a bit of ground, avoiding the kickback. Then Landed Plenty, and Ring-a-Ding-Ding is the last one. 5 lengths from first to last. Dreamforce the leader from Brutal, Sosie Bon, and Winx is starting to take closer order in a 4-wide position. Then Prompt Response from Telly Play. Ring-a-Ding-Ding getting onto the back of Winx, and Landed Plenty's been shuffled back to last. They come around the turn in the George Ryder. It's Dreamforce, Brutal. Winx is staying out in the middle of the track, and Bowman hasn't moved a muscle. Clear from Prompt Response and Sosie Bon. Now he shakes the rein of Winx and takes the lead from Brutal and Dreamforce, and now she starts to go into overdrive. She's won 4 Cox Plates, 4 Chipping Nortons, and now 4 George Ryders. Here's the world champion Winx, simply invincible, wins it by 3 lengths to Brutal. Dreamforce third, Prompt Response fourth, and Sosie Bon, Landed Plenty, Ring-a-Ding-Ding and Telly Play.
Well, Rosehill has seen many, many champions, but they've never seen anything like that. The greatest moment at Rosehill in history. Took this in. Her second last race start, her last at her home track. Bowman brought her to the centre of the track like he wanted her to be closer to the crowd. No more words. There's nothing left to say.
This is the reason you love to come to work in our business. A champion, the ultimate champion. I'll never see another one like her, and it's just such a pleasure to watch her. She is sex on legs. She's sex on 4 legs. Unbelievable.
Okay, Peter Tighe's here with all his family. All your family are...
She did what she does best and just put them all to the sword.
Darren said in his call, 4 Cox Plates, 4 Chipping Nortons, 4 George Ryders.
Yeah, mate, there's not a lot more you can say. She's just out of this world. She means the world to us, and to Debbie and to Richard, obviously. But you know, it's a day for celebrating with our families, all of us.
See all the great horses before us, but we've heard about them, and that's what Winx is doing to the next generation and to our generation. She's making people remember a very good sport for all the right reasons.
Yeah. The love for her grows, and it's a great gesture today that Huey's taken her all the way down to the straight. So
there always is in any horse race, and especially with her. But You could see she was close enough. Yes, she was 4 wide, covering a lot of extra ground, but that's Winx. That's how we keep her out of trouble, and that's why she's so dominant. She can race 4 wide and still be too good for them.
And you can worry about other horses handling any type of going, but with
here today, and you might have noticed her sweating up with your eagle eye in the mounting yard, and that's unusual for her, but it just gives you an indication of how warm and humid it is here this afternoon, and I think she felt that, but she needed a good hard run, and I feel she's run against stronger opposition here at Rosehill over the years, and I wanted to make sure that she kept her focus, and that's exactly what she did. And when the crowd erupted, you could actually, well, I don't know if you could see it, but I could feel the energy just increase in her body, and she surged to the line. It was just so exciting.
It just must be amazing to feel that sort of power underneath you, and the crowd here thinks there's an incredible feat what she does, but for you in the driver's seat, you must really feel it.
Well, I do, and it excites me, and I just feel very privileged to be in the position, and with it comes a lot of build-up, a lot of emotion.
Shuffle back to last. They come around the turn in the George Ryder. It's Dreamforce Brutal. Winx is staying out in the middle of the track, and Bowman hasn't moved a muscle. Clear from Prompt Response and Sosibon. Now he shakes the rein of Winx and takes the lead from Brutal and Dreamforce, and now she starts to go into overdrive. She's won 4 Cox Plates, 4 Chipping Nortons, and now 4 George Riders. Here's the world champion Winx, simply invincible. Wins it by 3 lengths to Brutal. Dreamforce 3rd, Prompt Response 4th, and Sosibon landed plenty.
Duff and Lizzie, every one of the 32 wins of Winx has a special story. You can recall every single win, and something will come to mind about that race. For me yesterday, it wasn't so much about the race, it was about the crowd reaction. It was about how they rejoiced in her being there at Rosehill for the final time. It was more about the crowd than
expected it, but she delivered, and there was moments there. Yes, I thought that was a beautifully controlled call by Darren Flindell as well. I love that
Excellent,
call.
Yeah.
You know, and there's so much stuff you've got to think about when you're calling a mare like her, but it just flowed beautifully yesterday. But look at this. This was the moment there. Look at her. Look at her. That's like a Gun Sin moment. You know, like it's
incredible.
And I'll tell you one thing that I really, really took notice of yesterday. Before the race, when they're clapping, all them horses spook, spook, spook. You know what horses are like when you hear cheering and clapping. They all just get a little bit nervous. She laps it up. She loves it. She doesn't turn her hair. She just pricks the ears, looks at the crowd, at the applause before and after the race. She knows she's a champion.
It's almost
complete arrogance, and the thing out of this race is just sectionally again. It was champion sectionals in comparison to the day. If you pull these times out from this mare yesterday, it's as good as you'll see.
Was she the only back marker of the day to win?
No, Avilius
on that track. So you'd be expecting those sectionals to back her up?
Oh, look, I think she's broke 34 coming home, and we're talking, you know, they're coming home in 38, some of them the winners, you know, so it's just incredible to do what she did. I thought Brutal there. He's always been a horse with a rap on him, and now that they've stepped him up in distance, I should have had a look at the where he sits in the order of entry for the Doncaster Mile, but that's a lovely trial for a young horse with a lightweight going into a Doncaster Mile. Dreamforce is still ticking along beautifully for that race. We keep forgetting this is a good race for the Doncaster Mile, and I don't think we should ignore those place getters as far as.
And do you feel that we should? Forgive horses like Land of Plenty and Ring a Ding Ding?
You have to. You got to forgive. It's going to be an ongoing theme this morning. Too many good horses got beat too far. It was a really tough track. The grass was that long. You know, I'm tipping the grass gets a good shave this week. It's the last Rosehill meeting. But I'm saying the track was great, but it was really tough for horses.
To be difficult for racing as well. It's going to be difficult for race clubs because they've had Winx to promote on her own.
Yep.
She does it herself. Now, what happens post-Winx? And we've only got 3 weeks to go before it is all over in the Queen Elizabeth Stakes. And what a day that's going to be. That will be one of the most emotional days we've ever seen on a racecourse.
Yeah, whatever happens, it's going to be emotional.
Whatever happens, whatever happens.
And I'm going back to Winx now. Hey, April 13, when she has a last run in the Queen Elizabeth, is the same date that Black Caviar had her last run.
Wow.
She wins the Queen Elizabeth. Overall, she'll have won 37 races. Farlap retired winning 37 races.
Oh, my goodness.
How good's that? They're a bit spooky, aren't they?
Are they what? We're getting our sermon.
The Ranvet Stakes over 2,000 metres.
I'm a big race, a tremendous side. Villiers has never been beaten in Sydney, but he's running the Australian Cup just has me guessing a little bit, so I don't really want to take the short odds about him.
On track for Egg Tart, number 13, Brass. Was it unlucky to miss a spot in your top 4?
Well, I've actually gone against Egg Tart quite consistently over the last couple of years. I just...
Racing now, and Dance left well towards the inside. Sikandra bat away nicely from our Mandan. Out very deep as Ace High and Unforgotten in a pretty prominent role together with He's Eminent. So there's plenty vying for the early lead. The Taj Mahal is in the leading pack as well. In the second half of the field is All Brave from Egg Tart, then Shillelagh. Villiers, Savvy, Cope, Night's Watch, and Atoya is the last one. They're still going at it up front. Inside the mile mark, and He's Eminent goes forward to take the lead, with Ace High drawn the outside, getting across to second. Sikandrabad leaders back third, and Mahal on the outside of our Mandan. Further back in the field to Egg Tart. Albray off the course. Back on the inside is Dance. Then came Villiers out wide, but with cover. On the outside of Savvy Cope. Then came Shillelagh, Natoya, and Night's Watch is the last one. He's Eminent, still a big leader, going inside the 700 metres by 3 on Ace High. Then came Unforgotten. He gets going now on the Taj Mahal, starting to wind it up. Egg Tart gets onto its back. Wider out is Aubrey. Being pushed along now is our Mandan. Dance in a tricky spot. Then came Villiers. Sikandrabad dropping out of it. He's Eminent, swings the corner in front by 3 on Ace High. Then came Unforgotten, being revved up. 2 further back to Egg Tart. Dance into the clear now. And further back to Villiers. He's Eminent under the stick. 200 out. 2 lengths clear. Villiers are starting to wind up, and Dance on the rails. Here's Villiers going up to tackle. He's Eminent, and Villiers takes the lead and charges away in the Ranvet. Villiers draws clear to beat He's Eminent. What a great run by the English stayer. Dance third, Unforgotten fourth, just in front of Natoya. Then the Taj Mahal from Egg Tart, Ace High, Shillelagh, the Taj Mahal, Savvy, Cope, Albray, Night's Watch. Our Mandan dropped right out, and so did Sikandrabad with an issue there.
Disappointing in the Australian Cup as an odds-on favourite, avenges that defeat here with a solid performance. He's Eminent set the race up and ran it at a good clip and looked like it could keep going. Unforgotten got out after it. Dance started to emerge, but there was Villiers, who loves Sydney, unbeaten in Sydney, $4.20 and $2. Kerrin McAvoy, he wins his second Group 1 of the day.
It's a super horse, and that was a demonstration of the supreme turn of foot that he can exhibit. Kerrin wasn't here to ride the track, he was here to ride the horse, and I think that was the key to getting the horse over the line. He had a bit to turn around on his performance in the Australian Cup, and we knew that, but he's had a fantastic fortnight, and I'm just proud of the team, and look, I'm just so impressed by the horse to come from such a difficult position and claim them and win with authority. That's the sort of weight for age promise that he demonstrated when he hit the racetrack in Australia on debut last year, and he's got up and won us a Group 1. So we're thrilled for the horse.
Now you can trust.
It's because of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed that we've got such lovely horses like this to be running in the Royal Blue, and when the team all cheer in unison because horses like this can hit the front for us in such prestigious races. We know we're doing our job down here, and we're doing Godolphin worldwide proud.
Villiers was disappointing in the Australian Cup as an odds-on favourite. It was as simple as that. But yesterday won the Ranvet, an avenged defeat in a Group 1.
Yeah, it's been a traditionally good lead-up for this race, the Australian Cup, and he did start $1.65 favourite, so it's easy to make another case from after the ball, but he bounced back big time here, ridden quietly, comes with that traditional sprint that he has. He's never been beaten in Sydney. His only defeats are obviously an Australian Cup, a Cox Plate and a Melbourne Cup, so that's a pretty good stat. He goes to the Queen Elizabeth now and adds a lot of interest to that race. So does this second horse. He's eminent. He went out very hard here. I thought, how ridiculous. He's going, the horse first up, going out this hard. He hasn't had any form for 2 years. He beat a Villiers overseas a couple of years ago. Wow. How much improvement in him?
Look, he's got the residual improvement in him. He was just in a foul mood as well.
Yeah, as usual.
Well, they dominate Sky Thoroughbred Central, the $3.5 million Group 1 Longines Golden Slipper. The richest race for 2-year-olds in the world, the Longines Golden Slipper, over 1,200 metres. Group 1, 16 of the best youngsters in Australia. It's time to get up to Darren Flindell.
Microphone, who can really just switch off, relax off the inside gate, and then have the last shot of them here today. I think Microphone is the one to beat.
Microphone 7 to 750. They're the ones in single figures. There's a nibble for the Black Opal winner, unbeaten through 2 pin sec. It's 15 into $14. Money's dried up. Loving Gabby was 16 out to 19, back to 18. It just goes back out to $19. And there's money for Dubious, as I said, with those blinkers going.
Finally got to as much as $5.50. It's to $4.80. Cosmic Force got into as short as $3.80 off a high of $5. It's back to $4.40. Yes, yes, yes is back to third pick now at $7 off $8.50. Microphone's now at its best of $7.50. 4 runners in single.
And we're ready for a start. Racing now. And a great start. Loving Gabby jumped particularly well with Free of Debt. Kiamichi out wide. Vincero, Valare and Anahita mustering quickly, followed then by Dubious going forward, then Cosmic Force, Time to Rain. Microphone back on the inside, followed by Catch Me. They're followed then by Liar, caught a bit deep on the outside of Pin Sec. Well back then is Tenley in the red cap on the inside of Exhilarate. And yes, yes, yes gives away a big start. Kiamichi takes the lead inside the 700 from Anahid. Vincero, Valare's moving up on the outside. Then came Dubious, Cosmic Force. Free of Debt drops back from Loving Gabby. Microphone next on the rails. Time to Rain's hard at it, followed by Liar. Then Pin Sex, Exhilarate and Catch Me. Yes, 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 and Tenley are last and second last. Kiamichi at the 350 lead. Under the pump is Anahid, followed by Vincero, Valare. Microphone's picking up on the rails at the 200. Kiamichi 2 lengths clear from Anahid. Microphone wide out, Loving Gabby. Liar with a big run late, but Kiamichi's clear. They're queued up. Microphone second. It's McLaren giving chase. Kiamichi in front from Microphone and Liar, and Kiamichi led all the way. Kiamichi beats Microphone in the slipper, and getting up for third in the white cap was Liar, then Loving Gabby from Time to Rain, Anahid, Cosmic Force, Pin Sec, Lankan Star, Catch Me, then Yes, 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 Vincero Valare from Dubious. Tenley didn't get into it with Exhilarate and Free of Debt.
It is a blue trifecta. James Cummings trains the Quinella. Kiamichi, the filly. And Microphone, the colt. Kiamichi, a length and a half in front. Microphone, no.
Just an achievement getting all those runners in that race, and to think that they've trifected it. This filly was vet checked last night and passed clear to run after a little bit of a maybe.
Bart 1-4, you've got your first.
Look, it's that's some race. Great credit to this horse. She's just been able to come on the scene in such a way that suggested that she's just going too well to deny her chance to be running in this race. I mean, she's our first 2-year-old winner. We trained her for strength. I wanted to toughen these horses up all season, and she was tough this week. She just had an absolute ripper of a week, and she's by a stallion who was able to run 3 weeks in a row and still get up and run second in this race, like our Cold Microphone just did, beating less than a length. And you know, Microphone's got a great future, but one thing I knew coming into this Golden Slipper this year, a little like 2 years ago, you can throw out the window what horse you think is the most brilliant horse. You can throw out the window the horse you think's had the picture-perfect preparation, because at the end of it, it's going to come down to the horse that's got the guts to handle the track on the occasion and have the heart to get over the line first. And our first 2-year-old winner of the season had heart to get up and win on debut, and she just kept improving, trained for 1200 all the way through, and toughened up right until the grand final. It was very, very satisfying.
It was only 7 days that she really stamped herself as a Golden Slipper player, but she was the least fancied of your runners with the public.
Yeah, but I can tell you she's been squealing all week.
She had a great chance, but I guess my confidence didn't really build until I got on her. I don't know, she just felt in the zone. I was really happy with her, and I was just on a quality animal.
She's just such a...
They're queued up. Microphone second. It between giving chase. Kiyomichi in front from Microphone and lowering. Kiyomichi led all the way. Kiyomichi beats Microphone in the slipper, and getting up for third in the white cap was Lyre, then Loving Gabby from time to run.
So it was a Godolphin trifecta, a James Cummings Quinella. Anthony Freedman provided the third horse Lyre, but the biggest day for Godolphin happened yesterday with that trifecta, and the chances were, guys, that they were going to win it. They'd stacked the decks.
Yeah, they certainly. Yeah, they had the cards in their favour, but they capitalised on it as well. And what a lovely ride! Just a well-controlled ride by Lane. He just got across there without too much effort. Got her balanced. He knew he was on a very, very fit filly on the back up here, and she did have the right constitution. Look, it was a one-act affair. For many weeks now, we've been saying, you know, this is one of the most open slippers in memory, and the bookies got the lot. We should have, you know, she probably was over the odds in retrospect. Microphone was very good. A terrific performance by these fillies from out of the Blue Diamond there. Lyre and Loving Gabby, who could be a star in the making. I'm just not sure, Lizzie, is this the end for these horses? Sometimes you can pick one or two out and say, well, it's going to train on to the Sires or the Champagne. But with the testing conditions from that race yesterday, I don't know if there's too much left for these horses.
I felt the two horses that are more going to be suited to the 1400 are Lyre and Loving Gabby, but they're at the end of their preparations, and you can see that physically they will be much better 3-year-olds, and they're probably due for their spell. So you would suspect that they'll be probably their pull-up stumps. The only other horse that I could say will look as though he'd be suited to the 1400 is Yes, and I'd love to see him back on top of the ground as well. I think that he just got way too far out of his ground. Circled the whole field. It was, in retrospect, it was a really good run, but she was just the toughest. And it's interesting that when you look at a horse like Kiyomichi, she may not be the most talented, but she's got a really good constitution, and that's something that wins slippers, especially on those types.
You only got to, and now we're listening to things he says.
Absolutely, he's as you know, come in. I mean, he's very young as well. You've got to remember that he's not he's only a young man, but Godolphin is a very well-oiled machine all around the world. So him slotting into that operation, it looks as though it's absolutely seamless, and they're kicking goals. And it's something that as soon as he was announced as trainer, I thought to myself, he's the perfect fit. And his team around, as you can see in the vision there, you've got Nassim, who's been with him for years. He worked with him at Bart's as well. Dizzy Appleby is actually Charlie Appleby's sister. She runs the Warwick Farm stable. So she's the lady who's in.
After the slipper.
Hugh Bowman, Microphone. Yeah, I'm delighted with the colt. A great performance. Very proud of him. Luke Curry, Lyre.
Yeah, she's run really well. Just had to wait for a while to get a bit of room. She was good late.
Ocean Murphy, Loving Gabby.
Very pleased with her run. She put herself in a good spot. A little bit lost around the turn, but she's got a big future.
Jason Cobb.
Free of debt. We'll get an update for you. Lizzie, have you got any more on that?
No, he had been galloped on, and he was requiring.
Vecchio, the favourite in the Sires. Now, how many Golden Slipper horses go there? We just can't tell. We won't know until those acceptances come out. But Well done, Darren Flindell. You didn't miss a beat there.
Thanks, Greg. Well, here, I'm giving Parada a bit of a chance today. I can't get out of my head how well he went in the Sydney Stakes on Everest Day on that very heavy track. So, second up here, worth a ticket there at the $8.50. I'm excited. It's a place chance at good odds. Can't leave Red Cell out. And, of course, Jungle Edge.
Away, apparently, after the late scratching of Hard Stride. Clayton Gallagher parted company and he's been taken off to hospital. No condition update there. Hopefully he's okay, but they're just waiting for the second ambulance to get onto the track, and all the horses are still riderless behind the start point with a very long delay there ahead of the running of race number 6. 3.5 minutes away from the Group 1 Galaxy. It's worth $700,000, just over $400,000 to the winner, who you think might be Viridine.
Yes, well, Viridine, second bite at the cherry. He was placed in this race 12 months ago, and now he's a gelding, and I think he might be a slightly better.
Viridine at $7.50, just a fraction easy.
No one wants to bar him, really.
Ready, and they're racing. And Jungle Edge jumped well, so did Red Zell, and Baller's being sent forward from the wide draw. The 3-year-old Baller gets about a half in front. Nature Strips mustering now. Red Zell and Jungle Edge right there behind. Then came Easy Eddie, Graff on the rails. Wider out is Pirata from Tribal Wisdom. Then the Godolphin pair next, Viridine Encryption, I Am Excited. And Kaepernick had dropped back to last. James McDonald takes Nature Strip to the front. Travelling keenly by a length and a half. Baller got over to second around Jungle Edge. 2 further back to Red Zell. McAvoy just starting to nudge away at Red Zell coming to the turn. Graff back on the inside and Easy Eddie is next. Into the straight. Nature Strip swings 2 lengths clear. From Ball to the outside. Jungle Edge the rails. Red Zell's under plenty of pressure. Easy Eddie went past him. But inside the 250, Nature Strip's full of running. From Easy Eddie coming down the middle into second. Then Ball and Parada late. But Nature Strip's 3 lengths clear. From Easy Eddie and Parada, who's really coming with a big run late. Nature Strip's tying up. Parada's coming hard. Oh, photo finish. Nature Strip and Parada. Easy Eddie third, followed by Encryption, then Baller, Tribal Wisdom, Kaepernick. I Am Excited, Red Zell, beaten a long way out today. So is Jungle Edge. Graff was one of the last to finish. This is tight.
And they're in similar colours too. Parada or Nature Strip, as Parada lunged and made it in time. Nature Strip got very tired. We're waiting for the slow-mo to come up. We're seeing nothing on track. Comes a lunge, a very late lunge. Parada and Nature Strip. Oh, inside, it says on the low shot. Inside Nature Strip, the heavily backed Nature Strip. And here's the shutter cam. Is it any different? Well, it shows it could be a dead heat. Which has won. And there, oh, gee whiz. We've got to go to Eagle Farm. I'm hearing Nature Strip's won it, but that photo's not convincing just yet. We'll come back with more.
Yeah, full credit to the teams, to where he's come from and where he is now. Everybody's had a go at training him, and look, I'd probably get the accolade for winning the Group 1 with him, but there's been a lot of hard work going to him through the years, so well done to all those trainers as well. Great work by James McDonald. He's put a lot of time into the horse. Wet track today, there was a lot against us, so he needed to be pretty tough to win.
It's hard to judge a new horse, surely, that has been there for everyone to see, and then you get your hands on him and try and work him out.
Yeah, I think getting horses from good trainers, they come to you in pretty good condition, so you had plenty of meat on him and muscle, so we've basically just looked after him, loved him, and he's flying the flag proudly today.
He's done an amazing job. Ever since I first sat on him, he just felt it brilliant, and I knew he was a good sprinter. Things don't really go his way, and he makes it hard for himself, but today he sprung the gates really well, and I just sat on him like a quiet church mouse, and I thought the given the ground would be to his assist, and it certainly was, but very thankful.
Nature Strip in the Galaxy, he's going to try and talk the owners in that horse to taking it to Royal Ascot for the King's Stand over 1,000 metres. Now, that's another story, but that's what he said on on radio with Ray Thomas again this morning as well. Nature Strip and Parada. What a finish. There's still people out there who think Parada might have won.
Oh, so close.
We work with pixels in racing now, they call them. Some people don't like them.
Is that what they call them, pixels? I thought there were other names for those people we work with.
Oh, wow. How deflating if you own Parada. That's $10 million for that colt there, just nosed out there.
Just remind them this morning as they're having their cup of coffee.
I'll remind them that there's still light at the end of the tunnel. There's some great racing at Ranwick. The TJ Smith, he could be another Everest horse this year, but he's back in business, Parada. But look, 3 Group 1 winners for Chris, and this horse has been no other of his 15 trainers have been able to win a Group 1 with him.
Yeah. I was really happy for the horse there because he's had a lot of knockers, and it's probably unnecessary that he's had so many knockers, and he was able to, prove himself right by a pixel. I might add.
By a pixel.
But he's
looking for most of his early life before heading down south to Victoria. Trapeze Artist is $5 favourite in front of Osborne Bulls. So you keep forgetting that they're sitting at home. Red Zell, he's got to bounce back. Centre and a Lane hopefully will be there. Nature Strip, not sure. Parada Soul. Sunlight, $11.
Well, I said that yesterday when Munsey...
They're ready. $5 price. Platinum Invader firms up too, but that horse on screen, when they back these Godolphin horses like this, they're not far wrong.
Done a bit of track. Here, 7 days away, the ATC Derby. They have to run well.
And the 3-year-olds are ready now on the Tulloch, and off they go. And Angel of Truth jumped out well. Platinum Invader there with Cossatata. Then came Mangione on the fence. First Class Dreamer caught deep looking for a spot in it. Then came Shaman from Inner Twinkling. Madison County's gone right down to the running rails and improving. And Cariff is last of a bunch field. So 1,000. Angel of Truth in front. First Class Dreamer set up in seat 1B. On its outside, 2 off to Inner Twinkling. Then came Cossatot, the rails from Platinum Invader. Mangione, then came further back to Shaman. Madison County, the favourite, is second last on the fence. And 3/4 to the roughy Cariff. Down the side, he pulls out 9 Inner Twinkling. It's Angel of Truth being tackled by Inner Twinkling. So James McDonald's made the move a long way from home. Goes up to join First Class Dreamer and Angel of Truth. Platinum Invader getting right onto the back of his compatriot, followed by Cossatot. Then came Mangione, Shaman, and Madison County is well back and seeing daylight now into the straight. Angel of Truth found a bit here. Angel of Truth in front by a length or so. Cossatot goes to second. Now Madison County is winding up on the outside. Here comes the favourite. Angel of Truth a length clear. Madison County goes to second. They beat off Cossatot. Angel of Truth has got a good kick. Don't tell me another leader. Yes, Angel of Truth's going to lead all the way. Madison County just couldn't pick up on the heavy conditions at the end second. Cossatot third, followed by Cariff. Then in came Inner Twinkling from Mangione. Shaman was next from Platinum Invader, and First Class Dreamer finished right out the back.
Well backed, well rated. Number 5, Angel of Truth, leads all the way for Corey Brown and Gwenda Markwell. We need a price change in the Derby, a 50-1 chance going into the day. And will he back up in 7?
There's 4, maybe 5 races. It was just, well, especially the first 3, it was just nearly impossible. And Corey read the play. Look, this is an underrated little horse, this fella. I think you found him, Lizzie. He was strong late. They come at him here. You would have thought, oh, hello, here he comes. Madison County. But I just think it was the early pattern that was against Madison County. Although beaten as a short price favourite, I think there's a lot of merit in his performance there. Still a little question mark whether he runs a strong 2,000 metres right out, but considering the pattern, I want to really forgive him. Costatot keeps running nice races there. I'm happy to give Inner Twinkling another chance on a drier track. They out-sprinted him, then he rallied again late there. So all in all, I want to be... the winner will go to the Derby, and I'm interested to see what they do with the second horse, whether they want a Doncaster or pay the late entry fee for the Derby.
We're going to get a favourite for the Derby. Now, this is on day 1 of the championships. This is next next Saturday. Chapada Arrogant coming out of the Rosehill Guineas. Beam Emancipation Stakes over 1,500 metres. It's a Group 2 for the fillies and mares.
They're off and racing. Sedanza wasn't great out, and Dyslexic was. He's won the break here from Daisy Dermot. Invincible Gem away well. She wants a forward spot, Invincible Gem, and there's a line of 3 in the first 200 metres, and Invincible Gem's pushing on out wide. 2 lengths clear from Sedanza going to 4th, then Insensata Noir, and Princess Posh is the line about 7 off the lead. Daisy Doom holds down the front of the 800 metres. Invincible Gem gave it up there, just sits back 3/4 of a length away. Then came Dyslexic, a half the yard tie side to Sedanza, 2 further back to Noir. Then came Insensata, and Princess Posh being felt for at the rear. Racing to the home turn, Atkins sits very quietly on the leader, Daisy Doom, out by 3/4 to Invincible Gem, who worked. Then came Dyslexic, still travelling, waiting for a run. Sedanza's got it in a pocket as they turn. Daisy Doom swings in front of Invincible Gem. Dyslexic's got no room. Sedanza moves up on the outside. Invincible Gem lays it down to Daisy Doom. Dyslexic pushed on, looking for a gap. Invincible Gem gets the upper hand now from Daisy Doom. Got a half length clear. Noir's making ground, but Invincible Gem a half in front, 50 out from Daisy Doom. And Invincible Gem, what a great ride by Corey Brown. That's a double for Corey. Invincible Gem by a half on Daisy Doom. Noir ran 3rd, followed by Dyslexic, Sedanza, Princess Posh, Insensata, and a heady ride there by Corey Brown has paid off.
Yeah, what a tough win. A tough win by Invincible Gem. She was there up, putting that pressure on early, and she was the last mare standing. Invincible Gem.
Ridden much better. She's much better when she's switched on early. She was just a little bit too far back in the in the Coolmore at a previous start. She puts paid to him here after doing a bit of work. I thought it was a good, tough effort. Probably a lack of a recent run with Daisy, considering the circumstances. You know, she'd only had a first up run on a trial, and then she unfortunately finds herself in a heavy 10. But gee, she rallied late, didn't she? Noir, this is still when there's a little bit of that bias around. Just didn't want her coming out, popping off their back so soon there. She's run another brave little race there. Dyslexic, disappointing, I'd have to say.
I was a bit concerned about her from her previous start, whether she was actually going to handle that heavy. When he went to let her head go on that occasion, she did flounder a bit and she did get beaten. We thought it must have been just a bit of fitness. But I think it's just she needs to be back on top of a firmer surface. She doesn't quite get through it. So I'm happy to forgive her on top of the ground.
I'm inclined to.
At Rosehill Gardens, the first of them, the Vinery Stud Stakes over 2,000 metres. And this is a wonderful group of 3-year-old fillies. Darren Flindell.
Yeah, it certainly is. And I don't think for the value, and I'm treating the Kembla Grange Classic form very seriously here. Scarlet Dream and Frankly Awesome, I think, are the 2 value options. Nikita Jane's going outstanding. And
here comes the main one at Rosehill. First of the Group 1s, the Vinery Stud Stakes, and there are your quaddie suggestions up on screen, Tone.
That they are 3 and 1 in the
50 to 21. Frankly Awesome, 21 to 26. Autumn, 26 to 34. Graceful Glamour, 51 to 61 to 41. Kafila, 34 to 41, and Alexandria is 151 to 101. So,
and we're just about set now with the field locked away. And the gate's back now. They're off and racing, and Nikita Jane was one of the first into stride, showing a bit of speed. Underneath it there is Alexandria. Wide out Graceful Glamour and Seabrook getting into stride now, followed by Aristia, then Quifilla back on the rails as the roughie takes the lead in the early stages of the race. Very Elegant's back on the fence. Autumn gets past her. A length further back to Pahudakawa, and well back in the field is Frankly Awesome, and Scarlet Dream is the last one. So it's the front runner, which is Graceful Glamour at this point at the 1,100 metres from Alexandria, the rank outsider of the field in second. Nikita Jane a handy third on the inside of Seabrook, followed by Quifilla. Then came Aristia. Further back then to Very Elegant, who's popped away on the inside of Autumn. Then came Pahudakawa, Frankly Awesome, and Scarlet Dream being quietly ridden at the rear. No change to the order in the Vinery Stud Stakes. Graceful Glamour is the front runner from Alexandria in second. Nikita Jane in a stalking position third. Autumn gets going now up on the outside of Seabrook as there's a few moves now. Then came Aristia, Quifilla. Very Elegant's well back in the field, but McDonald's getting her wider out from Pahudakawa, Frankly Awesome, and Scarlet Dream around the turn at Autumn, and Seabrook have made the runs together to beat off Graceful Glamour. Then Nikita Jane and Very Elegant's coming right down the middle of the track, putting in big strides. It's Seabrook being tackled now by Very Elegant. They beat off Aristia, and then came Frankly Awesome at the 150. It's Very Elegant, 2 lengths clear of Frankly Awesome, really knuckling to the task late. Very Elegant in front on jelly legs, but she's got the Vinery Stud Stakes won. It's Very Elegant, a length and a half to Frankly Awesome. Aristia ran third, followed by Seabrook. Nikita Jane had a chance. Then came Autumn from Fahuta Kawa, Scarlet Dream. Further back, Turquifilla from Graceful Glamour. And last home was Alexandria.
She's the best filly, no doubt about it. Today on a heavy track, Very Elegant with the gear changes. The nose roll not there today. The earmuffs went on. She was just as fast. She was just as good. Number 3, Very Elegant. James McDonald in the saddle, and that brings up Group 1 win number 98 in his career for Chris Waller.
Wow, she's a beauty, isn't she? They went out a lot. Right, this favourite just was smashed all week, and the bookies will pay the price.
OK, well, Chris Waller
obviously just need a little bit of working out and having the confidence to take gear off and put extra gear on. It's easy when you're training winners, but yeah, we needed to make sure that we could tell the punters, you've got a favourite going into a Group 1 race, that don't worry, we've put the earmuffs on just to help relax, and taken the nose roll off because it wasn't doing anything. So it's worked out pretty well, but obviously the horse has got talent.
And on to the Oaks now.
So the Oaks will do. I was thinking after today, if we didn't win, maybe look at Queens and Oaks, give her a bit more time. But I don't think we've got that luxury. We can go to the Oaks with a bit of confidence.
With the gear change, was that just common sense? Amazingly, was back in 2008 with Heavenly Glow.
Wow.
But I think that's about to be amended in the history books with Very Elegant. It's hers to lose now.
What a brave decision. You know, I know Chris Weller's a great trainer, but geez, it's a hard decision to make after you've won a far lap by lengths and lengths to fiddle with gear on horses.
She needed the gear.
She needed, but it's a brave decision off a big win. You know, it's very hard to do when you've won by 4 lengths and then you want to take nose rolls off and put earmuffs on.
Yeah, I think he just knows his horses so well, and the way that she raced last start, Ronnie, you probably back me up on that.
She's raced like that all her life.
That would drive him insane.
It would.
He likes to have them very tractable, and she seems like she was, but then she wobbled out in the last 50 metres.
I know, she was 300% better than what she's ever been yesterday. May have been helped by a fast speed, and they didn't slow, so we didn't see if that head goes up if the speed comes out of a race, and she's still got that funny little action that she's got, but it's an effective action, mind you.
Chris was right. That nose roll was doing nothing.
Doing absolutely zero, as it proved yesterday, and the earmuffs did work.
Yeah.
It seemed to work. She settled a lot better than we all expected. What's Chris Lee's going to do with this, frankly? Awesome. I'd love to see him take on the Derby.
I reckon he's going to the Derby.
All she has to do is pull up, but does the favourite have to stub its toe for these other fillies to beat her? Or are we just getting carried away on 2 heavy 10 wins with the favourite? She's obviously a mudlark.
The favourite, the only point I read with the...
Heavenly Glow, the last to win the Vinery Oaks double. Aristia, the Victoria Oaks, ATC Oaks, the last time was Serenade Rose.
Yeah, right.
So that's even longer.
Well, that market's pretty reliable. Well, frankly, awesome. We go up in the air whether she runs in the Oaks or the Derby.
The Kia Tancred Stakes. Tancred Stakes, there is Avilius just moments ago being saddled up by... The Kia Tancred Stakes, there is Avilius just moments ago being...
Melbourne Cup, this horse. But, yeah, yet to prove himself as a weight-for-age horse. But let's face it, probably the only genuine weight-for-age horse at this point is Avilius, going on what we've seen.
Racing now, no speed at all by Yogi, and Big Duke being taken back. Ace High jumped okay, but it's being restrained. So who's going to lead? Ventura Storm in the early stages. Sound is handy, so is Avilius. Now wide out, Brimham Rocks is on the outside of Ace High, and Rondinello and the Red Cap poking through the centre. Nobody really wants to lead. Ventura will by the looks of it. Natoya's pretty handy. Boy, they're dawdly. Then came Duke on the fence on the inside of Patrick Aaron. Red Cardinal dressed back. Big Duke back back on the fence, and Yogi last, and maybe 5 lengths covering the field. Ventura Storm in front. Well, Ace High didn't really want to go forward, but it's had no alternative here. Nobody will lead, so Ace High has to take it from Ventura Storm. Brimham Rocks in a forward roll up in an absolute dawdle, and Ace High leads down the back, and Natoya now takes closer order. Blake Shin's putting the mare right up on the speed now, Natoya, so she goes to second. Brimham Rocks third, then Ventura Storm. Further back to the New Zealand mare Rondinello. Sounders on the rails, and Red Cardinal is up on the outside of the favourite of Villiers. Further back then to Dukan and the blue cap back on the rails from Patrick Aaron. Further back to Big Duke, and 2 lengths after Yogi at the rear. So it's Ace High in front with Natoya a lot closer to the speed in this very slow run race. Ventura Storm, Brimham Rocks next, followed by Rondinello, then Sounder. They're followed by Villiers on the inside of Red Cardinal. So McDonald just starting to think about looking for a bit more room at this point. Further back in the race to Dukan, Big Duke, Patrick Aaron, Yogi not going well. Natoya lays it down to Ace High now. Rondinello pulls out. She starts to run as well. So the mares Natoya and Rondinello go together. But Villiers being stoked up now. And the odds-on favourite starting his run going to third. Clear then from Red Cardinal as they straighten up. And Villiers sustains the run. Moves up to join and head Rondinello. Further back to Red Cardinal and Big Duke creeping into it. He's still being kind to Villiers at the 250. Now he goes full bore on Villiers and he darts away by 2 lengths on Big Duke going to second. Then Rondinello right out Yogi, but Villiers is way out in front and does the Ranvet Tancred double. How easy was that? Big win to Villiers. Remains unbeaten in Sydney. Big Duke second. Rondinello really attacking the line well again at the end. Then Dukan from Sound. Yogi came down the outside, testing the ground there. Further back to Red Cardinal. Natoya from Ventura Storm. Patrick Aaron, Brimham Rocks. Ace High was last.
It was a track gallop for Villiers, and he remains unbeaten in Sydney. And he joins some great horses to do the double. The Ranvet Tancred, Silent Achiever, Managard, Tuesday Joy, Eramine, Tie the Knot, Stony Bay, Bozare, Maya Card, Alibi, the list goes on. He's up there with them now, and that was a hand canter.
Yeah, wow, what a classy horse and what a classy ride. He knew the slows.
You know, as careful as a trainer has to be about being arrogant coming into a big race meeting, but his effort today was imperious. He's a serious horse and fully fit his last 2 starts. He's proven his weight for age capabilities, and he's had a $1.5 million canter around in Rosehill, and the blue colours will go up, and the other jockey there on the top of the winning post. And as a little boy, you couldn't have imagined you've got 2 of your stable colours up there in one season.
You've won the 2 biggest races they race at Rosehill. You've only got to add a Golden Eagle when it
announced that post Winx, he could be the new star.
Well, it's just his cruising speed, the way he travels and the way he accelerates. I know you could look through this field and say, there's no weight for age performers here. He's the only one, and he was entitled to do that. And the market said that he would do that. But he did it. I'm still trying to work out how this horse got beaten by Harlem in an Australian Cup, honestly. Yeah.
Because of the track. He obviously is, it was a firmish track that day. Maybe he just didn't want to let down. He is a European horse, but he has not put a foot wrong.
No.
I mean, apart from the Australian Cup where he was a short price favourite, he has not put a foot wrong. And you can have one off day. I know Winx doesn't, but he can have one off day to be competitive.
I know he's won in Melbourne, but doesn't he look so much more dominant in Sydney?
Yeah.
Unbeaten, of course.
Yeah, and I think they were worried about him on wet tracks prior to his previous 2 starts, so he just ticks another box there. He's obviously a very good horse who we're excited about seeing. Are we excited about seeing him in 2 weeks' time, or are we excited about seeing him in next preparation? I don't know what the plan is there.
He's had a long preparation.
He has,
and you would expect... this is shows...
And for this is the Charlie Appleby trained Doobie, D-U-B-H-E. And it's got Dubai form. You've got to respect Appleby when he comes to town. This could be the Sydney Cup winner. This is him winning over 2 Mile.
Yeah, well, he looks the real thing, doesn't he? I haven't sort of got down and got hard into his form yet. You know a little bit about this form, Lizzie. He looks real thing.
He does. That was over the 3,200 at Meydan, and that was only in February. Yeah. So it was
this isn't last night, by the way. This is a while ago.
What I'm trying to say is it was only just recently. The other horse that's there, Debay, who runs in the All Age, he won in in January. So they're both coming here with wins under their belt. They're in form. They're trained by a phenomenal trainer. And they, you know, you've got to probably look at our stayers. They're sold from Europe for a reason. And they're facing up against a horse that's in form.
Yeah, it's shaping up all right. That first page there.
On Melbourne, 480 to 5, back to 480, back to 5. Siege of Quebec, 5 to 550, and Chaotic, the other one in single figures, 750 out to $8. Of those in doubles, Mr. Seawolf, 10, 11, back to $10. My Nordic Hero, stable.
Time is the favourite and they're off, and Invictus Prince has blown the start. 6 lengths out the back. Masker Time won the break with Siege of Quebec, given a real dig in the ribs to get up outside, and Tom Melbourne lands into the bridle third. Then came Mr. Seawolf, 2 off to Abdon from Grey Lion, My Nordic Hero, Chaotic, and Invictus Prince is chasing, starting to tack on. It's an easy lead though for Masker Time, and Siege of Quebec's got second spot up on the outside at Tom Melbourne. A length and a half to Mr. Seawolf resuming. 2 lengths clear from Abdon as they go past the 1,000. Hero, Chaotic, and Invictus Prince is still last. It's Masker Time, the favourite in front. Clark starting to fill for Siege of Quebec.
Group 1 formed up. Epsom, Kentala, Railway, Kingston Town into a Group 3 and now back into a Group 1 for the Doncaster.
Yeah, it was a absolutely beautiful ride by McDonald, who's really...
Mr. Seawolf. Winning for Chris Waller. It was a Waller trifecta.
Yeah, good effort too. First up 59, but he's back from Perth over the summer period, but he'd been prepared in Melbourne. He'd had 2 lovely jump outs and won them both, and I thought it was the track had chopped out by race 8, and he just did everything right there, McDonald. He slotted him into the 1-1, peeled to what he thought was the lane that late in the day, and he just holds on to beat Abdon. I don't know what they're thinking with Abdon. Maybe there's a race for him at Wagga. I think that's the plan for him.
Yeah, I was watching those 2 horses fighting it out, and I thought, considering that you'd tipped Mr. Seawolf, it would be very fitting that Abdon was about to beat you by a nose.
I know. I knew I was safe when he was chased. And poor old Tom. We still love Tom.
Yeah,
a lot of love.
You've just moved on.
I've just moved on a little bit.
Tom was gallant there yesterday. Tried hard.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
Yeah.
Masker Time.
Here's the market for the Doncaster. So this changed on Saturday morning. Aliso was going to the Emancipation and probably then the Coolmore Legacy. Now she's going to the Doncaster, and she's equal favourite with 50 stars.
I don't think she'll start favourite. I know she's a classy mare, but did you see last start, you know, when at a real tough mile, she was just found wanting.
She loves Randwick.
She does.
She's won a mile there.
At a 3-year-old. As a 3-year-old, no, it's tough for her. I just can't get her that short in the market personally. But at the same time, I want to see how the race looks. It's a race. Obviously, it's a Doncaster Mile, of course.
I really want.
Leaders assist Bellini and cross counter with 4 lengths to call the wind. Cross counter over on the outside. Bellini slides to left. Gold cross counter in front. Bellini can't go with them in the late stages. And the Melbourne Cup winner is now the Dubai Gold Cup winner. It is cross counter, drawing clear to win by a length and a quarter over Bellini. Brave Smash tracking into it nicely. Blue Point is alongside of it. Illustrious Lad, FDR, Caribou Club, the mare Vidora making ground behind them. The leader is Belvoir Bay. Sansamali, Blue Point hasn't been let off the leash yet. It comes hard on the outside. Stormy Liberal, Brave Smash and Vidora behind them. The front runner Belvoir Bay. Now Blue Point up on the outside levels. It's Blue Point going to Belvoir Bay, who fights hard. Blue Point put his nose in front, and this is the champion sprinter. It is Blue Point racing away by a length over Belvoir Bay. Then Stormy Liberal. They were followed by Fedora, but here she comes. Armandai out in the middle. Quickly raced up, went to the front. Running on hard is Vivlos between horses. Armandai in front. Vivlos is down the outside with Lord Glitters, but as Armandai well clear, Vivlos tries to get there. The Japanese knew it. The world suspected it. Tonight she confirms it. Armandai is an equine masterpiece and wins by a length and a half. Chevelle Grand is down the outside. Suave Richard gets out late. It is Old Persian racing to the front. Suave Richard, Chevelle Grand is trying to get there. Old Persian in front. It's well clear. over Chevelle Brandon. Old Persian takes it out. Old Persian way too good in the Shima Classic, wins by a length and a half.
OK, a bit of quality there, Dubai World Cup night last night. Will Blue Point come for the Everest? They've got to be tempted now that he's run that time and beaten that field.
Yeah.
Give him a slot.
Give him a slot.
Yeah, I suppose if they owned a slot, then maybe they might think about it. But he's better down the straight, they say, and that was the first time over 1200. This is Thunderstow against Gronkowski. This Thundersnow for Saeed Bin Sura and William Buick is the first horse in history to win 2 Dubai World Cups. So amazing effort. Only a nose in it.
Winner by Helmet. Second horse by Lonhro.
That's it.
Incredible.
Hey? Helmet
incredible.
Lonhro. It's an Australian, and there's the shake taking.
He's organising the party.
Princess Jenny, number 1, coming out here, was around $7 on track, and prior to the scratchings, there was good support for Zalate, which was $8 into $6 on track. What are they doing with those deductions?
By Bell jumped nicely with Maracaibo. The favourite Amangiri's right out on the Ellison Road side of the course, and she's quickly mustering. Amangiri going forward. Pressure's trying to go with her, and Rock Dove as well. So there's a few up there. Amangiri's about 6 horses off the fence, going to a narrow lead from Pressure. Maracaibo will settle third. Rock Dove fourth. Then Mrs. Madrid. A length further back to Welsh Legend. Then came Zalates to Clementina. Romany Girl Aliferous. Futu is second last, 3 wide and 2 after Rock Navarre at the rear. Amangiri going along at a strong enough pace here, shooting for 3 in a row today. She's the outright favourite, leading by 2.5 to Pressure. 3 lengths further back to Maracaibo. Then Mrs. Madrid. 2 further back to Rock Dove. Similar margin to Welsh Legend. Then Bye Bye Bell from Zalate. Etheridge being felt for up on the inside. Then came Lady of Charlotte from Clementina. Clementina trying to get onto the back now. Zalate. Aliferous from Romany Girl, Futu, and Rock Navarre is the last one. Amangiri coming back to them a bit now. Williams makes his move on Pressure and really places it under pressure at the top of the straight. Amangiri still travels. Maracaibo pulling out. Then Mrs. Madrid, and Rock Dove is starting to work into it nicely. At the 300, Amangiri showing the stick. Gets a length clear from Maracaibo. Then Rock Dove and Welsh Legends running on. Back towards the inside, Aliferous. Amangiri's under siege. Maracaibo's going to her. And Aliferous is flushing home on the rails. Going to beat them all. Aliferous there. Amangiri ran out badly at the end on top of Maracaibo, and it ensured victory for Aliferous. Fourth, I'm not sure. Welsh Legend, Bye Bye Bell, Rock Dove, then Mrs. Madrid, Romany Girl. Further back to Pressure, Etheridge, Lady of Charlotte. Zalate did it tough.
As Aliferous gets up inside them all to beat them all and pay 54.10 at 11.30, 150 and...
How far back did it come from? Amangiri and Macabo were settling down to fight it out, but there's Aliferous right along the fence to defeat Amangiri and Maracaibo.
Well, Chris is into the field courtesy of this win. I'm sure Chris will have a think about it during the week. He's got Frankly Awesome heading there as well, and she may go. But there's Aliferous right back on the inside.
Yeah, look, sometimes this can be Oaks form. I'm pretty confident it's not this year. Look, she was ridden quietly. She relaxed. She sprinted up the inside here and surprised everyone. I would expect. Amangiri's a good filly. She's come a long way in a short time. It's just maybe all too soon for her. Maracaibo or Sebo is stuck it out well. She's got a little bit of talent, that filly, and Welsh Legend was good up in distance for the first time. Been waiting for her to get to a distance. Rock Navarre gets a tick there. Other than that, yeah, well, I don't know. I don't think it is Oaks form, really.
Losing in quality.
Yeah, it's the curtain raiser for the Sydney Cup. We often see them take the next step, and yeah, a good percentage of this will butter up again, I'm sure. But having said that, Supernova, very lightly tried in this country. He's only had a handful of runs, actually, 7.
Racing now, the gates open, and Highbridge was very slow out, so he's right out the back. Now looking for the best of them, Rodrigo handled the start well from Samari Gothland. Very wide out Ventura Storm, Von Jamas going on, Aubrey handy, so's Vinda Dance and Taj Mahal. So plenty contesting the lead here. We'll stay with the front runners. Ventura Storm's pressing on, together with Von Jamas and Vinda Dance in the way white cap poking through. Aubrey between them, and the Taj Mahal is now going towards the Rouse, and Rodrigo Park just behind it, followed by Go Lead now. Out by a half on Ventura Storm, and Von Jamas continues to roll forward. Given a real dig up now, Von Jamas by Maloney, and he looks to take the lead at this point, and it rolls all the way to the top now, Von Jamas. Out by a length to Ventura Storm and Vin de Dance. A couple off then to the Taj Mahal. Supernova boxed up on the fence for Cicada the outside. Then 1 Foot in Heaven, Etymology, and the last two are Casterton and High Bridge, and they'd be 15 lengths off the lead. Von Jamas did work to get to the front. Ventura Storm's not going to let him have a rest. The pair go stride for stride at this point. The Taj Mahal's got a good toe into it on the outside of Vin de Dance. Then came Aubrey from Self Sense, Rodrigo, Samari. Further back to Gothland, Shraro deeper out, followed by Gallic Chieftain between them. Then Sir Charles Road from Muntaha, Zacada. Now back in the field, Supernova's back on the inside, waiting for a bit of room. Etymology gets going. Supernova comes one off the fence now, and further back to Casterton, 1 Foot in Heaven and High Bridge. Von Jamar swings the corner in front. The Taj Mahal's giving chase now in second. Then Aubrey running on. Further back to Self Sense, Shraro down the outside, and further back to Samaria, squeeze in between runners. Shraro and Self Sense go to the front together. It's Shraro getting to the front. Running on well is Gallic Chieftain. Shraro being tackled by Gallic Chieftain in the blue cap. Gallic Chieftain goes home best, beats Shraro. Samari third just in front of Sir Charles Road, and Supernova wound up when clear, followed then by Self Sense, Ghostland further back to Rodrigo, then Aubrey from Von Jamas. The Taj Mahal didn't see it out from Etymology. 1 Foot in Heaven, Cicada, Vin de Dance, Casterton High Bridge, Ventura Storm, and Muntaha was last.
Yes, blue cab. Darren had to just double check there. There was so many OTI horses in that race, but it is Gallic Chieftain in the blue cap, Archie Alexander, and Damien Lane, the slipper-winning jockey, getting the job done from Shraro in the... What that is going to tell us for the Sydney, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either, but the timing's there for Gallic Chieftain. He loves the bit of sting out of the ground. I think that's his fourth win, third up, so they read the play. This stable's going well, Archie Alexander. He just can't put his head out there, can he, Shraro? He keeps running teasing races without winning. It's pretty close for third there, with maybe the inside horse there of Samari, the Busselton.
Championships action up next with the Inglis Sires. Ships races. The Inglis Sires for 2-year-olds. Group 1, 1,400 metres.
One punter had $1,250 at $81. Then they decided they'll have another $2,000 at 50s, $3,000 then at 34s, and $9,000 the place on Bullet Fly. So there's been some support there, Abdullah and the Snowdens.
And Bullet Fly's got a bit of a similar profile to Eldorado Dreaming, who was beaten into second in a maiden at Newcastle before winning this.
Yes, well, this race, I couldn't tell you what this...
5 into 480, and Loving Gabby drifts now from on track for you here ahead of the Inglis Sires. Microphone 5 into 480, and Loving Gabby drifts now from 420 to 460. Bellevue Hill 6 into 550 nibbled. Slipper Heroin Kiamichi is 6 out to 750, and the stablemate 10.
Last to go forward for the first of our Group 1s, day 1 of the championships, the Inglis Sires, and they're all set, ready to run. Off now, and a good line out. Bellevue Hill has jumped out okay. Kiamichi's right there on the fence, and Kiamichi's going to lead from Bellevue Hill, and Dresden Green Parks in third. Loving Gabby right behind them fourth. Then Microphone spring-loaded on a wide run, whipping around the field. Further back to Strasbourg on the inside of Probabile. 2 off to Bullet Fly. Tenley gets back, Castelvecchio, and the maiden Crystal Falls is last. So Kiamichi, the Golden Slipper winner, holds the lead and holds it clearly from Bellevue Hill. Spring-loaded goes to third out 3 wide on the outside of Loving Gabby, and Dresden Green back on the fence. A length further back to Microphone, just shading Strasbourg and Probabile, 1 off the fence. Improving underneath Bullet Fly. Well back in the field, Castelvecchio, Tenley and Crystal Falls. Coming to the turn, Kiamichi travels. Out by a length on Bellevue Hill. Loving Gabby starting to ease 3 wide from Spring-loaded. Dresden Green making hard work of it. Then came Microphone, Strasbourg between them, and further back to Bullet Fly. But Kiamichi Gabby going great guns at the 350. 2 lengths in front of Bellevue Hill. Microphone starting to improve. Then Loving Gabby, and here comes Castelvecchio. 5 off the lead, winding up. Chiamichi's well clear. Castelvecchio is putting in big strides. Microphone up the fence. Chiamichi being challenged by Microphone. Castelvecchio deep out. Microphone from Castelvecchio, and Microphone's won it. Microphone's won the Inglis Sires from by the Loving Gabby who flew, and Castelvecchio, they just got to Chiamichi. Then Probabile from Crystal Falls, Bellevue Hill. A gap back to Strasbourg, Bullet Fly Tenley. Big margin to Spring Loaded and Dresden Green.
Oh, this is just a Godolphin clean-up. They're wiping the floor. They've won every Group 1 2-year-old race this season. The Blue Diamond with Lyre, the Golden Slipper with Chiamichi, and now the Group 1 Inglis Sires with Microphone, who becomes a valuable colt, running second in the Slipper and making amends in a Group 1 today.
Terrific performance and a terrific training performance. He's a good colt. He runs through the pain barrier there. That was a bit of a test. He was under pressure. You would have thought Castelvecchio was going to swamp him down the middle at some stage there, but probably a lack of a recent run. Loving Gabby was terrific as well, but all honours with the colt.
Has made amends for his Slipper defeat, and you've cleaned up.
Oh, he's a star colt, and no, I just think back to the Tuesday before the Slipper, and he absolutely exploded for us in a gallop. And you know, to get there and to run second with a colt, you know, for the farm, we would have loved for him to get up, but to present His Highness Sheikh Mohammed with a Golden Slipper meant more than that. And for him to come here with the effort of the guys to hold him together, we barely had to breathe on him for this race today, and just be confident in the horse. We didn't have to do too much with him, and his quality was able to shine through.
Inglis Sires, another Group 1, this for the 2-year-olds. We had that mix. We had horses coming in from 7 days ago. We had horses waiting for this race, and we had the Slipper form. And there it was.
And it was ended up the Slipper form, didn't it? And this is a very good colt here, Microphone. To think he had his first start, what was it, January 12 at Flemington, and he's gone all the way through to here. Just shows you something about his constitution. I thought he still paraded as well as he did on before the Skyline Stakes, personally. So he's a star. I don't know. It's a tricky one whether you want to go to the next one with the mile, but he pulled out plenty there. He was too good. I'm not saying she didn't handle the going, Loving Gabby, but she just hit the speed hump there. She just hit that flat spot, and you would have thought she was the first one dropping out. But she's got a big future, this filly, that she's just still not completely switched on. I don't know whether she goes on to the mile as well.
A lot of these horses, I would be really excited to see them with a spell under their belt and starting off as a 3-year-old campaign. I think the winner is the only horse that has the right constitution at the moment to carry on to the mile, personally. I think he still looks as, like you said, still looks as good as his first run back in Sydney, but he has been to Melbourne. He's been up for a long time as well, so they do have a point where they start going downhill. But Loving Gabby, even Castelvecchio, I think he's only having his 3rd run, but another...
I reckon Duff's right a mile.
Yeah.
You've been saying Champagne more than the size all the way.
But I still think they've got decisions to make. Sometimes you can, like a horse with his profile, he's bred to be a 3-year-old. He was out on his feet there yesterday, just no lack of a recent run maybe against him. Everyone was calling him the winner from the 300 home, but he just
knocked up, didn't he?
Yeah, he just knocked up there. But then you can go one run too much with these 2-year-olds, and there's a big picture. If he was mine, and he's not,
unfortunately, if he was yours, so go on, complete the sentence.
I'd be thinking him as a spring horse rather than Wave.
When they were Darley in the maroon and white, they had a year under Peter Snowden where they won every single Group 1 for 2-year-olds. Sepoy won the Blue Diamond and Slipper, Helmet won the Sires and Champagne, Benfica went to Queensland and won the JJ Atkins. It's shaping up like that again.
And it shows at the start of the season we could see those 2-year-olds of the Cummings stable or the Godolphin stable, we could see them firing, and you just knew they had a great set. They kept saying to you, wait till you see the other one we've got at home.
Yeah.
It's not our best one.
They were right.
Can't tell you how proud I am for him.
He's got his Group 1, and I think he's you know, I'll be surprised if he's not the best horse to come out of the Golden Slipper, and I think he will improve on what we've seen here today. I don't think he's at home with the conditions that are on offer here this afternoon. I mean, the track's racing beautifully, but, you know, in my opinion, it's heavy, and he just needs a drier. And as nice as the track is, unfortunately, it is rain affected, and I think on top of the ground you'll see an excellent turn of foot, and I personally think you won't see the best of him until he gets to 1,600 metres either.
James McDonald, Loving Gabby. Beautiful filly, unlucky not to win. She's got tremendous ability, and if it was a good ground today, I think she would have given the winner an even better shake. She just lost her footing from about the 6 to the 4, and that's where she lost her race.
Josh Parr, Castelvecchio.
Yeah, terrific effort. I chimed in like I was going to win, and a couple of those horses that have been up and racing just had the fitness edge on him.
Opie Boston, Probably.
Got into a nice position behind the first couple, and just never travelled, and she did well to run home though.
Tim Clark, Bill.
First run in 1861, the classic Harold's Australian Derby over 2,400 metres.
Profile Chapada leading up to this was unlucky in the Victorian Derby. Arrogant's performance against the Autumn Sun was outstanding.
Arrogant, the 4, has drifted out to $5.50. $5 Chapada, very, very solid Chapada, and getting some good bets. As we scroll down, we've also got money around for Declaration of Heart, $13 to $10. I hope you're on, Brass. $9, $8.58 in the last 30 seconds, goes $7.50 into $6.50 with tabs. So Global Exchange, very, very well backed.
Has trialled up here in Sydney behind Happy Club.
Derby, a mile and a half ahead of them. And they're off and racing. There's a great line out, and Yulong Tavi and Costello jump well. Pretty handy Angel of Truth mustering forward, so they're the 3 early. And on the improvers, Arrogant whipping up out 4 wide. Then Declaration of Heart back on the fence. Surely Sacred looking for a spot. On the outside of Cossatot, Chapada's going forward out wide. Stars of Karam onto his back. Global Exchange behind them, followed by Twin Spears, Sharman back on the fence. Then Platinum Invader, Madison County in a twinkling. And well back is Arameo and the Chosen One. So Angel of Truth's going to lead them up again today. Out by a length on Arrogant, and Costello's got leaders back 3rd. Chapada going to 4th. Stars of Karam caught pretty deep, pressing forward. Then Declaration of Arameo and the Chosen One is the last one. Down the back, Angel of Truth in front, and Opie Boston's allowed in a twinkling to sustain that run around the field, going to 2nd. Arrogant 3rd. Stars of Karam is the next, pushing forward out wide. Costello back on the fence, followed by Chapada. Declaration of Heart, Surely Sacred out 3 wide, trying to improve. Then Yulong Tavi on from Sharman. Global Exchange moves up 3 wide now in the second half of the field, followed by Cossatot. Madison County deeper out from Twin Spear. Platinum Invader, Arameo, and the Chosen One is the last one. Angel of Truth leads the Derby field up at the 800 from in a twinkling. Stars of Karam's done work on the outside of Arrogant, has been right there from the start. Then came Costello. Surely Sacred moves up 3 wide on the outside of Chapada, who's all boxed up between runners now. Then Declaration of Heart, Global Exchange, and Yulong Tavian coming up to the turn. Angel of Truth is ahead in front to win a twinkling. Then Stars of Karam, Arrogant just behind in the yellow cap, looking for room, and further back to Chapada. Costello on the fence into the straight. Angel of Truth comes up the rise, 2 in front from Costello in a twinkling. Madison County taking a rails run. Then came Surely Sacred, the Chosen One from a mile back. The Angel of Truth in front. Madison County's going into 2nd. Angel of Truth 2 lengths clear. Surely Sacred, Madison County, the Chosen One late, but Angel of Truth is well clear, and Angel of Truth makes all in the Derby, wins it by 3 lengths to Madison County and Surely Sacred. The Chosen One next from Global Exchange. Then in a twinkling, further back to Costello, Declaration of Heart, Arrogant flat. Then Chapada from Aramea, good gap back to Stars of Karam, did it tough from Yulong Tavian, Platinum Invader, long gap back to Cossatot from Twin Spear and Sharman.
Angel of Truth has won the Derby for Gwenda Markwell, and Corey Brown wins his 2nd Derby. He won it here with Eramine, and on a $17.50 pop here today, Angel of Truth has led all the way to win the Premier Staying Race for 3-year-olds. Never gave them a look in. Gwenda's got a Group 1 with Angel of Truth. What a fun with Angel of Truth. What a 3-year-old stayer he is, and for the 3rd year in a row, the winner comes out of the Tulloch 7 days prior.
Yeah, and Madison County was out of that race, who's run second there. So the same Quinella as the Tulloch Stakes, and same sort of race as well, where they just forgot about him. He got that beautiful racing style. Madison County was there, was outstayed. Surely Sacred, a little bit better track. He's a nice horse, but
you've won a Derby, one of the most famous races in the country.
Yeah, it was great, wasn't it? Yeah, he's a good horse.
He's led all the way too, which is almost impossible to do.
Yeah, when I seen him around the 1,000-metre mark racing with his ears pricked, I thought, you're going to take a lot of running down here. The day in the paddock, and he more or less said to me, I've sent you another horse. Yeah, he just looks like Grand Zulu.
Does he?
Yeah, same colour, same nature, same everything about him.
And he was the best horse you've trained, but by gee, this horse is gaining.
He's promising.
He is.
Yeah.
Well done, Gwenda.
No worries, thank you.
To start in the Derby years ago, she's got one back that she so richly deserved. Leading all the way, he wins the Derby, 11-8.
You watch that race live and you try and look back on what happened, and then you watch it again, you think, that margin, that was a dominant margin.
That's right. It's all right getting favours to suit, but when they come up to him, and you thought, oh, he's had a soft run. But then that last 50 metres, he surged. That horse can stay. I thought it was a clinical ride by Brown, even though you got to be left alone. I heard him on radio last Sunday after the Tulloch, and he said, I'm not very good on leaders. He said, sometimes I try and slow up too much and I ask to get attacked. That was just so beautiful, that ride. He can ride a leader. If he keeps riding him like that, just go fast enough so nothing makes a move. Yeah, it was terrific.
Could anything make a move, though? Didn't look to be anything that could have made a move
earlier.
Yeah, but they
made a move earlier.
Well, in a twinkling, made a move.
I thought he'd go on.
But I thought he'd go on, but he obviously didn't. That put paid to his chances. I don't think there was... I think, in hindsight, when we analysed the race, there wasn't anything else that had the natural speed to be up on speed like he did.
Probably.
Sort of, you think you kick yourself afterwards because he just did exactly the same as what he did in the Tulloch, and he's definitely a nice enough gallop. And then when he applied the pressure, that's when the whole field tried to sprint with him, and you could see that was where that hit that, you know, uneven spot.
Down the side, it's just too hard. Look at that kick back there. Yeah. It's too hard for these horses, giving this horse so many lengths, to pick up and surge and run these sectionals that are impossible on a heavy track.
Absolutely.
Impossible.
I could see a horse...
Berry's ride on Madison County was a beauty. Look at him up the rails there. I thought he was going to sprint, you know, with the horse with the best acceleration. I think you're right. Even though he's run second in the Derby, you can't say he didn't stay, but he stayed OK against 3-year-olds. I reckon Madison County could be an Epsom horse.
He's just got to turn a foot. He's got too good a turn of foot, and then when you get him over a trip like that, he doesn't seem to have that turn of foot, so that would suggest he's better back in trip.
Well, don't forget, it was only 7 days.
Surely Sacred is one of mine. I really like that horse. He's a beautiful animal.
Hong Kong.
Oh, is he? OK. I can understand that. Well, he'll go to Hong Kong now. And
he's owned over there too, isn't he?
And he'll be pretty successful. The best run in that race, and would have won with speed on, is the Chosen One. To do what he did in a slowly run race, negative at the start. I'm not bagging the tactics, but nothing unfolded in the race, and he had to make such a long, sustained run. I thought he had legitimate excuses, the Chosen One, but the winner made his own luck, and just to think that winner's only had 8 starts now, and he's won 5 races. He's dead set slipped the radar.
Yeah.
He's sure.
Now hard for a week, winner hadn't done a lot with him, and he got caught up on the toe, but mate, once he got to the front, going past the post first time, he pricked his ears and just done as he liked, and 600 from home, I thought, well, we've done nothing, let's go, you know, because I know he sustains a long, sort of once he gets to his top, he sustains it all the way through the line. He proved it again today, it was good.
So, Gwenda Markwell, going forward next week, she's a big chance of winning the Provincial Championships final because she's at Arc.
Tommy Berry, Madison County.
Yeah, look, it was a massive run. He stayed the trip out well. The lead, he just got away with murder again, so it was always going to be hard to catch him. He's going on my boat.
Damien Lane, Surely Sacred.
He was super, travelled in like the winner and probably didn't see out the 2400 on the heavy ground.
Blake Shin, the Chosen One.
Yeah, I thought he ran a tremendous race. Obviously, we drew wide and I had to take the horse back to negate the draw. They didn't go that fast. He made a searching run from about the 650 and hit the line strong
strongly. Terrific run.
Opie Boston in a twinkling.
Yeah, we just tried to ride him a bit quieter today, but he just over-raced, but relaxed once we got outside the leader, and he stuck on okay.
Karen McAvoy, Mark Zara, declaration of heart.
Yeah, look, travelled really well, just didn't let go. Maybe the ground probably doesn't stay.
Craig Williams, Aragon.
Yeah, it was a shame. He didn't bring the same form reference that he did last time. He was a little bit more dour today, and today he didn't handle the track conditions, so I'm pretty sure we didn't have him at our best.
Damien Oliver, Chapada.
Yeah, he just didn't handle the heavy track.
Tim Clark, Arameo.
Yeah, we're back from the draw. Settled okay, but just couldn't show a turn of foot on that ground.
Brendan.
Well done.
Thank you.
What a race coming up. The Aquas TJ Smith Stakes over 1,200 metres. Let's go up to Darren.
In the Group 1s there in Melbourne, and I've got to stick with Osborne Bulls here. Over the defending champion, Trapeze Artist. Shoals, no doubt, will be benefiting by the strong tempo.
3,000 at 420, so I guess out of all the Group 1s, Brass, did this look the hardest of the day?
I reckon it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the hardest race to sort out. Very difficult.
And yet
45 million they've excess between them. 9, 7, 4 and 3. I think she's massive odds here, Shoals, although I would have been a lot more happy if we got an upgrade or two throughout the day. I'll gamble on her. She's just a proven.
TJ Smith Stakes over 1,200 metres. And the gates are back, they're off, and Sunlight jump well together with Ball of Muscle, and Redzell's right up there on the speed. In fact, Redzell wants to hold the front here from Ball of Muscle. A couple off to Sunlight, staying deep. Trapeze Artist handy, then came Fell Swoop. They're followed just off the speed, then to Vega Magic from Shoals, Champagne Cuddles, Parada, Osborne Bulls second last, and Santa Ana Lane 10 off the lead at the rear. Redzell cruising in the lead by 2 on Ball of Muscle. Sunlight in a 3-wide position goes to a clear third. Then Trapeze Artist, Fell Swoop, Champagne Cuddles improving. Further back to Santa Ana Lane, right off the course around Shoals. Parada's back on the fence. Vega Magic getting squeezed out. Osborne Bulls, Bowman will ride for luck. Top of the straight. Redzell comes off the fence to lead by a length. On Fell Swoop, Ball of Muscle. Sunlight gets going the outside. Osborne Bulls is starting to charge along the rails. 300 out. Redzell just in front of Ball of Muscle. Sunlight, Santa Ana Lane's winding up on the outside. Here comes Santa. Santa Ana Lane swept to the front and kicked away in the TJ. Osborne Bulls, Parada, Champagne Cuddles late, but Santa Ana Lane does it again. An emphatic victory in the TJ. Photo for the miners. Osborne Bulls, Sunlight, inches away, Parada and Champagne Cuddles. Then Trapeze Artist, Redzell weakened out, followed by Shoals. A gap back to Ball of Muscle, Vega Magic and Fell Swoop.
One of the most dominant wins you'll ever see in a TJ Smith Stakes. Santa Ana Lane makes up for his defeat here at this track in the Everest on that heavy track. He's blown them away. Daylight was second. Santa Ana Lane, Mark Zara and Anthony Friedman have cruised home, Duff.
Yeah, what a dominant performance. Geez, a big-time performer. Both horse and trainer. He sat back off. He come with his customary big finish. Handled the tally.
5 Group 1s now. 5 Group 1s for Santa Ana Lane. He was the first horse ever to win a Goodwood Stradbroke double. First horse in history. And now he adds...
We'll obviously give Hong Kong a serious look. And obviously, if things are still good, we'll head on to Europe.
Okay. The ease of the win, though, to have those horses covered so far out, that's one of the best sprint fields we've seen.
Yeah, look, he's clearly, gone to a huge level now, and I've sort of worked him out. I know how to train him, and that's the key with horses. If the trainer works out how to train them, that's when you get the best out of them. And we've worked out with him that keep him fresh, big gaps between runs, he's, as I said, he just keeps stepping up to the mark.
It's getting better.
Yeah, look, he's that's now number 5, I think. So he's we just keep finding good races for him now and hope he can keep doing it.
Well done. Cheers. I think this is the dollars. He goes round at these ridiculous prices. 7 has run second. Numbers are up. 7 Osborne Bulls has run second. So he's finished the outside fence in the Everest, the inside fence in the TJ. He's run second. Number 11 has run third, Sunlight. She's responsible for a
domination. That was just incredible what that horse did on a day where they weren't running times. He's run 1:10.65. He's come home, as we'd expect, faster than anything all day. But just the manner in which he did that has just something. We all know he's got some good performances on the board, but wow, that has to be one of the best.
Yeah, no, it was incredible. He was really pumped in the yard before. He was bouncing around the place, and he's got that typical look. When you look at him, he's really strong and powerful. He's got the best sprinting physique, or the one that you want, the traditional one that you really want. And I remember him racing around, and was it Wagga? What reinvigorated him.
In a town plate.
And so just getting that win on the... I think he had a few problems, but, gee, they've sorted those problems out. Training effort was absolutely outstanding. The fact that they train their horses for these grand finals and their strike rate is through the roof. But the way that he hit the line, I spoke to Mark afterwards, and it wouldn't have mattered what sort of track he was on. He was going to win that race.
No. I thought he was going to win when he charged through there for a stride Osborne Bulls. I think obviously we've got to be forgiving with these tracks. There's a lot of star sprinters here that fail. Sunlight lost no admirers there. She's
gone up in my estimate.
Me too.
I thought that, I mean, she raced 3 wide without cover. She's up against the best sprinters that we could possibly face her with.
She was disadvantaged on the wet as well.
Exactly, and she's still a year behind, you know, a couple of years behind them. Like she's going to develop even more. She's only a 4-year-old. She's going to develop even 3-year-old. Sorry, she's going to develop even more.
I heard Luke Curry telling the connections after the race.
Going towards the Everest, Tony said in the week.
Yeah.
This will be her last run, and she'll head for an Everest campaign.
Yep.
And what's the story with Trapeze Artist?
Well, Trapeze Artist came back to the stalls. He had a haematoma on his near side. Pretty big haematoma.
It was, yeah.
I saw the pictures of it, and it would have definitely slowed him down. They had a look at the steward's vision of the barriers. There was nothing that he didn't look as though he knocked himself coming out of the barriers. It's just a mystery how he's got it. He's obviously knocked himself somewhere, and the run has just aggravated it and made it into a big haematoma.
Yeah,
but,
is that it for him or not?
Look, I think it is it for him. Look, there will be an announcement to say that he's officially retired, but that was my understanding, that it looks like he's probably run his last race.
I read a quote from Gerald saying that Bert Vieira had said, "Enough's enough."
Okay,
that's
fair enough. Little Champagne Cuddles has run the race of her life there. Scholes disappointed me. I expected much more from her.
Yeah, Pierata I thought also disappointed as well, considering he got that
lame though. I think there was a...
She was 2 out of 5 lame.
Okay, so...
And I think that the word was around that it could have been her last race.
Now, just on Santa Ana Lane, we're going to Hong Kong for that chairman's sprint in just a couple of weeks, and then it would be another month and a half to Royal Ascot. But
what do they think? They run him in the Jubilee.
Whatever
1200.
race. I think so. But isn't there still a quarantine problem to come back?
I think that's been
had one, so there might be some more.
And that could put pay to his chances of running in the Everest, which I'm sure is still high on their agenda. I think they want to go Hong Kong, Royal Ascot, back to the Everest, and you can do that.
Absolutely.
But not with quarantine restrictions, which would put him in a quarantine centre and not get back in time.
Well, if that's the case, then we're forgetting any internationals coming for the Melbourne Cup then. Because if they have to go to a country in between coming to Australia, surely we'll have to do some more investigating.
Yeah.
But that's I'd pay for you to do that.
The owners aren't going there for the money, because if it was all about money, they'd be staying here put, because the Everest is his to lose now.
That's it.
It's his to lose. Yeah.
But it still could be his to lose. They race in June.
No, as long as he can get back, I'm sure he's going to be set for the Everest. As long as they can get back from your
I saw on the back of Champagne Cuddles 3 wide, and just down the side, I give him a little click just to tack up, and oh geez, the feel underneath me, he was nearly going to go off. I just had to wait, and I got round the bend, and I had him covered 300 out. It was an amazing win. Yeah, look, he's just flying. Anthony and Sam, the team, got him absolutely airborne. It's just well done to them, and it was a great victory today.
What's it worth this year, the Everest? I'm just trying to... Is it 15 or 16 million? When you get to those figures, it doesn't matter.
That horse... Santa Ana Lane and Anthony Friedman have both got better with age.
No doubt. No doubt. How good will they be come October 19? October 19. Now, you could make a case to say he should even be shorter, but with him up in the air where he's going, $5, he is favourite, and Osborne Bull's a second favourite, and that would seem pretty right. That would seem pretty right.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
$1.20 to line up here in the Star Doncaster Mile. Let's go straight up to Darren before he learns the colours.
Thanks, Greg. Well, I think Glenn Boss can get across from this wide draw on the colt Brutal, and I think he'll get a pretty good run throughout the race. I've got Brutal just on top of the 8-year-old Hartnell. Boy, he's going to go close today, Hartnell. Elise bound to be hitting the line hard at the end, and Fundamentalist, the filly, bound to give a good sight on the speed, but it's Brutal for me.
Day one of the championships, the Star Doncaster Mile, $3 million on the line here, and Brutal's a 3-year-old with no weight and a rider who has the record for the most wins.
Mr. G Boss, Glenn Boss, I think he's ridden 6 winners, is that right?
Yep,
no?
it is.
6 Doncaster winners. It's a mean feat, isn't it? So, yeah, I thought Bossy might be able to get the cash on this horse. He's a very exciting prospect. And
going with Brutal on top, as you probably could tell, I'm absolutely in love with him. He's one of those horses that is just a classic quality individual. So I'm popping him on top. I think gaining momentum.
1 and 16. Who do you think I'd be tipping a 3-year-old only having his 7th start in a Doncaster Mile? But he is a brute. He looks outstanding. He's got Winx form. I thought his Ryder run was sensational, and it is a wet track run, so he's got style. I think he's got some.
Standing by for the starter to let them go. He does so now, and they're off. Kluger just missed it a fraction with Shillelagh, and Lander Plenty gets back, and Fundamentalist won the break. I Am Serious away well together with Hartnell, Dreamforce, and Bosses going forward on Brutal out deep. 50 Stars even deeper. Le Romain is spearing through the pack. Kluger as well, followed by Siege Quebec, who's about midfield from Sosie Bond. Violet out deep. Then came Shillelagh on the fence. Further back to Dixie Blossoms from Eckstein, Aloysia, Lifeless Ordinary. Back 4th last is Unforgotten, followed by Lander Plenty, Elise, and Wedgie Turf sees them all. Dreamforce takes the lead by a length. Brutal got to 2nd. Fundamentalist leaders back 3rd. 50 Stars 3 wide on the outside of Hartnell, followed by Le Romain 3 wide. Then I Am Serious. Further back to Kluger. Violate very deep. Shillelagh's getting an inside run, improving. Then Siege Quebec. Further back to Aloysia, Eckstein on the outside of Sosie Bonner. Further back to Dixie Blossoms, Lifeless Ordinary, Wedgie Turf, Unforgotten. McAvoy gets going at the 600. Further back, Lander Plenty, and Elise is the last one. It's Dreamforce coming around the turn in front from the Colt Brutal. Hartnell's easing out 3 deep from 50 Stars and Fundamentalist, and further back to Le Romain. Dreamforce up the rise, a length clear from Brutal, sticking on 2 off to Hartnell. Further back to Le Romain. Dreamforce the leader. Brutal has him in his sights now, and Brutal draws level with Dreamforce. 3 clear from Hartnell and Le Romain. Boss takes the favourite to the front. Brutal late in a bit, but he's edging clear from Dreamforce, and it's another Doncaster for Glenn Boss. Brutal won it by 2 lengths to Dreamforce. Hartnell 3rd, a cracking run by Kluger at the end. Then Lifeless Ordinary, followed by Siege Quebec, Dixie Blossoms, Wedgie Turf, followed by Shillelagh. Fundamentalist 50 Stars, Unforgotten, Violate, I Am Serious, Sosie Bon, Aloysia, Elise, Lander Plenty.
Brutal's won the Doncaster, and Glenn Boss has won his 7th. His 7th Doncaster. He's already in the Hall of Fame. He can't go much higher. And he wins his 7th for Team Hawkes, the 3-year-old with saddlecloth number 20 on its back. It went up outside the leader, Dreamforce, and they had to fight it out all the way, Duff. It was a leaders-dominated Doncaster, and it's the 3-year-old's day today.
Yeah, they own the race, those 2 leaders there, and you've got to hand it to Team Hawkes. You know, like I said, they could have gone the easier option, Ranvet Guineas against his own age. They took a different option to try and get him into this race. They put him in, you know, races like the Canterbury Stakes and the George Ryder, and he's a ripper and a lovely ride by Glenn Boss. Number 7, outstanding. Dreamforce, beautifully set up by John Thompson, just beaten by a Star 3-year-old who beat the hand.
Getting him for a Doncaster.
Oh, mate. Well, you've got to, because you don't get better people than John Hawkes, and they know their horses, and they never lose confidence. We don't lose confidence in them, and, you know, if you said, let's get Chautauqua back on the track, why wouldn't we do that either?
Well, don't start that again. Well done.
Okay, thank you.
From Dreamforce, and it's another Doncaster for Glenn Boss. Brutal won it by 2 lengths to Dreamforce. Hartnell 3rd, a cracking run by Kluger at the end.
Yes, another Doncaster to Glenn Boss. That was his 7th win in the Doncaster Mile. It is Glenn Boss's race. Stakes, sprint by 23 years ago was his first. And then, remarkably, his last 5 wins in the Doncaster have all been 3-year-olds. Racing to Win, Harada Sun, Triple Honour, Kermadec, Brutal, all 3-year-olds. He can get down to the weight.
Get down to the weight.
He can get down to the weight. On John Hawkes, it was 19 years ago that he won the Doncaster with over beating Sunline, and here he is combining with the boys.
Yeah, great story, and like as I said at the start, it's a great training performance to realise and peak him on the right day. And what a ride by Boss. He just, you know, that barrier turned out to be gold. Speed horses drawn wide, he just took his time. He didn't exert anything. Well, it turned into a bit of a procession for the on-pace horses, actually. He had a rest, the leader, Dreamforce. He gave it an enormous kick there, but the 3-year-old, obviously with no weight and an upside to him, looms up, gets him, and probably just puts paid to him just here. And John Thompson, the way he's set up his horse, Dreamforce, you'd have to give him credit as well. And what a monstrous run from Hartnell. He had the big weight, and when those horses were sprinting, it was just too much for him because they just had the lighter weights. The Japanese horses run well. I would have thought the best run in that race was, considering the way the race was run, was from Dixie Blossom. She was terrific.
I thought Kluger was the last 50 metres. You could see him really wanting to run through the line. It'll be interesting if they do decide to back him up maybe in a Queen Elizabeth. I'm not sure if he's actually holds a nomination, but there is always a chance. Or in an all-age, yeah, he could go up against over the 1,400 metres. The only question mark I had, we spoke off camera, is, as you said, the chopper shot. When Fundamentalists could have kicked up inside of Dreamforce, that would have left Brutal 3 wide. And I think that was they took the speed out of Fundamentalist, and she wasn't able to use her asset, was she, although that lightweight? Well,
yeah, she was. In retrospect, she probably let them get across too easily and slow the speed. She could have made them work a little harder. I still think they would have crossed her, but sometimes you can hand up too quickly in this game, and then when there's no moves, this is what happens. And we may have seen it in the Derby as well. We were talking about a pretty testing track, and when they're sprinting for home, it's hard to make up ground. It's as simple as that. So a lot of these jockeys...
It hasn't been recently, has it?
There wasn't anything wrong with Elise, but she doesn't go on a wet going either. She's
too testing for her.
She's too testing for her. And if you know the horses that you look at who featuring in the Stewards report are horses like Shillelagh, Elise, they just don't handle it. They just won't go on that type of track. And unfortunately, it's a grand final, so everyone wants to run. And when it comes up as off 7, you sort of hope with that weather that we had yesterday, there's a chance that there could be an upgrade.
Let's hear from...
There's many options for this horse.
Just keen into the bows, I thought, geez, I'm on a horse here. Like he give me that real soft, relaxed feel, which you like on these big days, and he just felt confident underneath me. So there was never a point in the race that I ever felt like I was going to lose. So a couple of times he hit a few flat spots with the track, you know. But with him one stride, he comes straight back out of it and straight back into his rhythm. So he's got very good control of his body, you know. But obviously, so many people thank, you know, Team Hawkes for giving me the opportunity to ride such a great colt and give me a chance to win my 7th. It's quite surreal. I just think back to the start, sprint by.
Slow walk because Duff was very tired after the long day.
I can't believe he made it out for the last race.
He didn't go for the last. Anyway, we get to a stall and here's Brutal, and Michael and Wayne are there, and Michael's told Duff and I, you can mention it tomorrow morning, we're looking at the Golden Eagle, $7.5 million. Why wouldn't you? So the dream team would be the Autumn Sun Mystic Journey Arcadia Queen. If you add Brutal to that list, you're looking at a pretty serious race. Now for this new
Damien Lane, Dreamforce.
He was so brave. John's just got the horse flying, and I thought he'd give a really good kick at the top of the rise, almost a winning kick, but Brutal was too strong. But full credit, Johnny's team, the horse is flying.
Hugh Bowman, Hartnell.
Ran his usual on this race, just the horses. Brutal was too good with the lightweight, but it wasn't a testing race, and I think that's what we needed to win, and all credit to the winner.
Tommy Berwick.
Yeah, he went enormous. I think the speed of race is a little bit different here. Probably 2,000 would suit him better. but you know, if he goes 2,000, he's going to run into the mare. So it's a bit of a tough one for him, but he's acquitted himself very well today.
Craig Williams, Shillelagh.
I was really impressed with her performance. She didn't like that track at all. Rather utilised her good draw for once, but she just didn't like that track at all. And to her credit, she showed a lot of heart and finished off solidly.
Christian Reef, Dixie Blossoms.
Oh, look, she runs super. Just from the 600, we just bottled up. Just needed to be able to get out a little bit sooner than what we did, but look, she ran fantastic. A little bit more luck, she would have finished right over top of him.
Robbie Dolan, Sergio Quebec.
Actually ran well. The heavy going might have slowed him down a little bit.
James McDonald, Le Romain.
He went okay. From a lovely spot, and he worked the line nicely.
Ben Thompson, Fundamentalist.
Yeah, I sort of found myself in a lovely spot on the back of the Quinellas of the race. She did just travel keenly in the middle stages when the leaders came back to us, and obviously, yeah, she's better than that.
Jai McNeil, 50 starts.
Yeah, did it a little bit tough from the wide barrier. Just needed a bit of cover, but I still would have expected him to finish off a bit better.
Karen McAvoy, Unforgotten.
Had to give them a bit of a start, but she let go with a nice run for a furlong, and then was even from the furlong home. So I think she just wants better ground.
Jay Ford, Aloysia.
Disappointing today. She was a spent force at 400.
Karis Teeton, I'm Serious.
Yeah, she, had a perfect spot, and she sort of hit the flat spot about the 500, and she couldn't get over that, and she did not hit the line with me.
Blake Shin, Elise.
Look, she's just not that effective in softish going, so it wasn't a day today.
Sam Clibberton, Eckstein.
Yeah, look, tired run. Well, it's hard. Obviously, a lot of horses listening to the jockeys there. A lot of horses didn't handle the going. There was excuses for a lot of back markers the way the race was run. So it's advantage on speed, advantage. Glenn Boss, Damien Lane stole the show. Hugh Bowman put the three best rides 1, 2, 3. It's